whispered by name.
Right on Copacabana Beach. And suddenly we noticed that there were 5 women in there with us, and they were all like 7 feet tall. They were huge, and we thought, wow, this is a big family. You know, they must all be in the same family.
Yeah.
They're related. They're sisters.
Yeah.
But we got out, and they were all over the place. Very, very tall women. Well, it turns out it was the volleyball championships
Oh, yeah.
taking place in Rio.
Oh, yeah. They have a lot of sports down there in Brazil, and lots of soccer's number one.
Yeah, soccer is the big one.
Yeah. And
But the women were all about 7 feet tall,
And then,
and so were the guys.
after a few days,
I don't believe that.
we got in the elevator, and the men were coming.
I've never been to
After
Rio.
the women's finals, it was
I
the
went to
men's
one of the
finals,
other
and they were
countries.
even bigger.
yeah,
I mean, they were unusually big, I'm telling you. It was weird.
yeah.
They were giants. And I'm not kidding, it was intimidating.
Did
We
you-
thought we were really small. We could see a lot of things right from our
I
hotel
wouldn't have
window.
recognized him on
They had a
anything.
big movie screen on the
Any street
beach.
corner or
Copacabana
any place, even
Beach.
at home, I
And
wouldn't
people would
have.
gather
I'd have
around
to
and sit on the
guess.
sand with their blankets and everything and their picnic
Well,
baskets
Gary's a pretty nice
and watch
son.
movies like
Hi, Gary.
Chicago.
Hi.
He
Fame,
takes
really
me
big
around a
movies.
lot.
They would screen outside
Shows
of the
me a good
beach.
time.
Well, we had a
And,
little raise
it was
today.
What would that be in the summer down there?
Well, I think it's always summer
The
down there.
television show in
This
Seattle
is not,
said there was
it's actually
3
in
inches
winter.
snow
Yeah.
in Portland
It's, but
today.
it was,
Wasn't
it rained a
here?
little bit while we were there, and
What
the
did you
temperatures
say?
ran from,
The weatherman
when we
in
first
Seattle
got there,
on
it was around
television
80,
said
in
there
the low
was 3
80s.
inches
By
of
the
Right.
time
snow
we
in
left,
Portland
it
today.
dropped a little.
Well, now
And it
you
was
know
getting
better
to be
than
a
that.
cool
We got
breeze.
snow on the way
So,
down around Olympia.
We left at the
But
right
none down
time, it
here.
started raining, and so I think it was their
I
winter.
think he was
Because in
reading
their
the
summer, it is
forecast.
boiling.
Probably the weather changed
Yeah.
warmer, so it rained and
But in
said
California,
snow.
what do we know?
Well, I seen it
Just
snow here.
when we
pretty
left,
big.
it was 80 degrees.
I think we've been here 32.
Do you know where
the-
something
Do you know
like
where
that.
the equator crosses? That's, doesn't it cross up around Colombia and
I've never been
Venezuela?
sorry, we
Close to
loved
the-
Yes,
We
that-
enjoyed living,
So
you know,
Brazil would
and,
be-
Nice.
it's just.
It's
south
we
of the
got-
equator.
There's a nice key light for you,
Yes,
honey.
Brazil, I have no makeup on.
We don't go into Portland very often, but
Where's
when
my
we
makeup?
do, it's
Okay.
close, it isn't-
Brazil is a
50 miles
14-hour
away, you
flight,
know.
Rio rather.
Yeah.
And we like
And
the
we
neighborhood
flew into
too.
Sao Paulo first, and
just
then
this
took an
last
hour
year,
flight to
it,
Rio, which is
changed a lot.
just a little bit
A lot
up the
of people
coast.
sold out and moved.
Lots of people from all over the world go
I don't know if
down
they
there.
let
Oh, it's a
me
big
retire
vacation
home
spot,
or
big
what,
tourist
but
spot. It was
changed
quite
this last year,
remarkable.
and,
Yeah.
We
we
saw
got quite a
everybody.
few new neighbors.
They
From all
have some-
different nationalities.
They have a lot of beauty queens on
This
the
man next door has
swimsuits
been,
down on the beach,
Oh,
don't they?
yes, they do. A lot of them
I
were
think he and
propositioning
his
Gary
wife were
too.
here
They were?
before
Oh,
us.
yes,
They
right
just
on.
probably wanted him
Let's
to
see,
take their
2
picture,
weeks.
so.
Well, no, I think they were women of ill repute.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, oh,
going,
yeah.
and you can't even be sure if they're women or not. Some of them are men.
Oh, yeah.
Dressed up like women.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's pretty wild down there.
Together for years.
They like to have parties every night.
Like I say, this last
Yeah.
year it changed.
We
it's
had
changing.
dinner at midnight every night. That's their dinner time.
Certainly all over.
I didn't like that. I didn't eat it like
I
eating
didn't
that
see
way.
my
What'd you
neighbor
have for
across the
breakfast
street
down
for
there?
about 2 weeks.
Oh, breakfast
He
was
owns a
great. We had a
cab
breakfast buffet.
Company, he drives a
And,
cab home every night.
The breakfast was
Well,
really
I thought he'd
not
moved.
very
I
Brazilian.
looked out the window the other day, there he
I mean,
was.
they had the
Nice
fresh,
cabin.
great fresh fruit.
So,
from
I
Rio.
don't know whether I
It was
just
great.
missed him or
Hi.
Those, the papayas.
Hi.
whether he
That
was
was
on
fabulous.
vacation.
Happy
Pineapple
New Year.
mill and a lot of the same
Happy
things that we
New
had.
Year.
Thanksgiving, just
And all sorts of different types of egg dishes, bacon, sausage, almost like a typical American or any breakfast anywhere.
I want you to quit
But
taking pictures
It
till
was
I
a
can
huge
come
buffet,
back.
all you can eat. And it was, it's included with the hotel when you go to
Yeah.
country, it's usually like that, more than in the United States.
We like those breakfast buffets,
Well-
brunches and, what?
Let's put that.
Hey,
Yeah.
You wanna give me a hand?
How many,
I'm sure it'll get an Oscar.
can't I take a picture of,
Everybody's having trouble getting it up. Not only me. 1, 2, 3. There we go.
though that was a nice picture. The
Look
lighting-
what I saw.
Everybody looked really pretty.
What?
Did you see that?
What?
Here.
Oh, yeah. Roadrunner, right?
Ask him where he got it. There's one in my yard nearly every day.
A roadrunner? Is that right?
Almost every day.
there is,
I try to throw food to it. and
where is
see
the
if
Roadrunner?
Honey, let me get some
Here.
coverage of
Oh,
you.
that one, yeah. We had that little
Mr.
other one
Cameraman.
outside, I
Just press
think.
the
No,
red
it
button.
didn't. A
Yeah.
catbird. They're only in California. and-
You send him
Okay.
that Roadrunner?
Fran,
No, we
What?
got,
where are you right now? What state?
Oh, let's see. I think it's Oregon.
Aren't you from here?
Milwaukee, Oregon. I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Weren't you born and
No, I-
raised here?
Yeah. I'm now from Palm Springs.
The center.
Yeah, what?
I'm,
And didn't you raise this young man, Gary,
Central
standing
Washington.
next to you?
yeah. He was born in Portland, Oregon.
What relation is he to you?
He looks familiar. I think he's my oldest son.
Oh, yeah. I wondered why he was hanging around you so much. And who's this gentleman, Gary, to your left?
My Uncle Walt.
Hi, Uncle Walt.
hi.
Nice
So
to
how
see you
long
again.
have you and
Yeah,
Gary
long
known
time
each
no see,
other?
Gary.
Now, we were here, what, 2 years ago,
Yeah,
right? Wasn't
yeah.
it 2?
Yeah, two, yeah.
Well, I
Or was it
remember we
3?
went to
No, I think it was
IHOP.
About 2 years, yeah.
I think it was 2.
What did you used to say when I say, whose little boy are you?
I was Dama's boy.
No,
I was Mama's boy.
no.
What?
I's used boy.
Oh, I was You's boy.
Come on, say it again now, Gary.
I was You's boy.
Years,
I go
That-
home to Dama's house.
That was a
Yeah.
wonderful performance.
I go to Dama's house.
Could we have that again?
Do something.
Take two.
I never whipped my kid.
How's my hair?
We'd like the line, I's use boy.
He said,
Take two.
me man, me go
What?
double.
Say it again?
Yes,
I was You's boy?
yes.
Yeah.
I was You's boy.
But say it like a little boy.
I was You's boy. I've been a good boy, Mommy.
Yeah.
I was You's boy, Mommy.
And who'd you say that to?
I use boy,
Some
Mommy.
people just whip their kids for no reason, and they don't learn.
They say it like an infant, like someone who's like
I was
18
You's
months.
boy, Mommy. Now is the winter of our discontent.
Why don't you go over there and stand next to Walt? That's what we're here for.
It's cold out.
So Walt, what kind of trees do you have in your backyard?
2 apple trees and a prune tree and a pear tree.
Really?
Yeah,
That must be-
raspberries and blueberries and raspberries and tomatoes.
I want some
Oh.
blueberries.
If we went out there right now, could we find
You
any?
know where the zoom is on that? Are you zooming?
Have to come,
Yes, I
have to
know
come
where
up
it
in the
is.
summertime.
Did you stop, Gary? Of course I know.
The zoom is on top. you
I
see.
know, I know.
Yeah. Anyway,
We like to
have
argue.
Raspberries at the center, remember?
yeah, we had lots of things at the center. It's surprising in the old days when the farmers, they
Over
planted
here.
everything in their garden,
Yes.
like rhubarb and currants and gooseberries and strawberries and everything like that. So if they wanted any, they'd just go out in the garden and make jam and stuff in the house.
So
Nowadays,
did
everything
you
comes-
ever live somewhere where you didn't have to go to the store, you made all your own food, or?
Yeah, when we lived out on the farm, out in the center,
I think I've seen that farm,
yeah.
the farm that Fran was born
You wanna
on,
go
right?
by there on the way home?
No, there's nothing
It
to
was-
see.
It'd be dark
Haven't you
like that,
seen it? The
Yes,
barn
it's
is
great.
gone, the house has a tin roof on it, the garden in front's gone, all
Is the bank there?
the cherry trees are gone.
I thought it was just great to see you standing in front of
Where
your...
have all the flowers gone?
I think I got a picture of Mother and Dad out in the yard with the cherry trees, and I think we got one where the swing was in that great big cherry tree when we used to swing when we were kids.
Oh, I can remember they wanted to sell some cherries. 5 cents a pound
This
that
is
nobody
scary,
would buy.
Gary,
I say, and you're
Ground would
getting,
be
Yes.
covered with the cherries
drive the
that
car.
didn't get used.
you know.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we had
said
about
to
10
you,
big
we
cherry trees.
hear about you all
Well, I bet that
all
could
the
be a
time, but
handy
we
snack
never
once
do
in a
see you.
while.
Oh, yeah.
We
I
had
know,
a
well, we
whole
were here 2
orchard
years
of
ago.
prune trees.
Yeah.
They
We'll
sold
be
the
back- we'll be
prunes.
back.
We used to
again.
sell some prunes. But then they had
It was
different
supposed to
kind of
snow today.
trees,
Oh, was it
quince
here?
tree and
Well, I just
plum
assumed it
trees
didn't.
and
I
pears.
like it, I
Yeah,
like a
and,
bit of it, but I don't like to
they
have
had
week
some of
after
everything
week.
because, like you
No.
say, they didn't have the stores and
It was
stuff
snowing when we drove here.
to go
Was
to
it?
and get them. And
We didn't
Well,
see
we
any
had
snow.
No,
no.
in Olympia, Washington.
Squash,
you
onions, all kind of garden stuff.
In Olympia.
I can't remember.
You
your
were telling me a
parents'
little
name.
while ago about how your phone bill was $3 a month.
Julie,
Is that
Jill.
true?
know.
Jillian.
Oh yeah,
Jilly,
but
And
that
you-
was
Jill.
that was a
Jill.
day's wage, Joe, for a lot of
Jill, yeah,
people
Jilly.
working in the
makes
So-
sense.
That's phenomenal.
so the
We have one phone call is $3. Now, these days in Southern California.
Mother, why don't you sing something? Hmm?
Well, the more money you make, the more prices go up, so you can't win.
That's true.
When Gary was little, I'd give him 10 cents. He'd go to the store and come home with a loaf of bread. I didn't even have to tell him what it was for. 10 cents for a loaf of bread. I paid $2 and almost $3
Yeah.
for a loaf of bread.
yeah.
I was making $150 a month, raising 2 kids, paying off a mortgage.
That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Well, now people get $1,000 a week.
They have
And they
to.
cry they want more money. Well, the more money you get, the more the prices go up. You can't win.
We like to keep life simple, but it's too complicated.
Yeah, well, people get greedy. I don't know what's wrong with them. We never complained about anything.
Oh no.
Everybody wants everything for nothing.
But I like what,
So you were pretty happy
did you turn the
kids
light
then.
off?
No, I did not.
Soft.
How come it went off? One of the batteries getting
It
drained.
looks very good though on the monitor. I think it's picking up plenty.
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I guess you don't need that light
Oh
on.
my gosh, you heard what
No.
I said.
You don't. You can
I
film
wish
almost in the dark with this camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, it picks up everything.
In fact, you can film at night. If you hit a certain button, it'll be green, but you can film in the darkness. I film at 5 in the morning at a swap meet.
Is that
And you can still see people.
is that made in Japan? The camera?
Of course.
Yeah. They make,
It was Japanese. They make everything.
oh yeah.
Cheaper.
And
Better than a lot of stuff too.
maybe it's made in China, but
Will you give us a chance to get
Well,
some of
I
these
hate to see
pictures?
him send all
Yes,
the
I'm gonna
money
send
out
them
of
to
the country
you.
with
Yeah.
this
Well,
old
we'll be
trouble.
glad to
Jane
pay
got me
for
this
'em.
watch for my 80th
Oh, no, no.
birthday.
we're gonna make a
Yeah,
copy
it's,
of this video and send to you.
Make
She's pointing it at us.
Oh no, I was
Seiko.
actually
That
pointing
thing
it
hasn't
at
lost a
that,
second
Yeah,
already.
that
Like
lamp
years.
behind your
We're in the
head.
movies.
I got
How
this.
about
at
this?
Target.
This is Jane.
This watch
Jane,
is
how is your garden out back?
What kind?
$19.
Oh, she don't
I
care.
don't know what is
The
it.
garden.
Can't see.
How's your garden
How's the
out
garden?
back?
I think it's a
I
well-known
didn't hear the
thing.
question.
How's your garden?
It's growing beautifully. It's winter time, but our garden can grow in the summer, in the winter.
Uh-huh.
Come closer for the sound, for the microphone. if you
Oh,
can.
I see. I was zooming in. I thought you meant zoom in by
Do a
that.
dolly shot.
Can you get a little closer?
No, you want to sit
I'm
down?
dollying.
Well, when
All
she
right.
gets through there, I do.
Okay, she's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was about enough.
Signing off now then.
Okay, about time to
And
sign
people,
off.
people can stop acting. It's a wrap. We can all be ourselves now.
We're all going.
Okay.
You know, when I was in Paris, and I think it was in the late 50s, I was living in Paris doing shows for the American military in the 60s, early 60s, late 50s. And I met a great man, one of the greatest, international star, director, actor, Orson Welles. I met him with Eartha Kitt, who Eartha is my very dear friend. We became good friends in Paris. And Orson Welles was very, very much involved with Eartha Kitt's life. Gary Graver, how are you? Is that true? Eartha Kitt, I mean, you know, Orson Welles took good care of her. I mean, made her a big star. He met her in Paris. Tell me about that.
Yes, they did a play together called The Unthinking Lobster,
Okay.
which was about Hollywood. And actually, I believe that there were 3 one-act plays.
Right.
And I think she sang. It was a kind of a review plus a play,
Uh-huh.
and they alternated them. And they played in Paris for many months.
Working with this great man, Orson Welles, one of the greatest. Gary Garver, you were very young. You came to Hollywood from where?
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, a guy from Portland, Oregon, arriving in Hollywood. What happened? Tell me. What the very, very first, how did you meet Orson Welles, first of all?
Well, I came here right after high school, did a little college, and then I got drafted.
And you went to Vietnam, where I entertained. You were a photographer in Vietnam.
Combat Camera Group, yes.
That's dangerous stuff. I remember that. I met many of you guys in Vietnam. I probably met you. You don't even recognize me, because that's in the 60s, you know.
Late 60s,
Late
yes.
60s. I was
Right
there
at
in Da Nang, La Trang. I worked in Da Nang, La Trang. Gary, so you came to Hollywood after your military. Is that true? Then what?
No, before.
Oh, before.
Before, yeah.
And you went to the Army.
Yeah. No, Navy.
Navy.
But I didn't want to go in the Army. I didn't want to be an infantryman. So I told them I was a cameraman, which I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
And they said, okay, you're in the Combat Camera Group.
Uh-huh.
So I ran all over Hollywood to all the rental houses
Uh-huh.
and said, how does the light meter work? What does this do? What lens is that? What is that? I crammed myself and taught myself.
You taught, self-taught. Oh.
Yes, and then I went in the Navy,
Uh-huh.
which turned out that I was on foot all over the place
Uh-huh.
with the Navy and following the Marines, so it wasn't such a safe. I wasn't on a ship all the time.
No,
I
but
was
you
where
were.
you were.
You're seriously danger there. That was a lot of danger. And you came back to Hollywood after the Army or military or Navy, whatever.
Yes.
And then what happened, Gary?
I got a job as an documentaries, and then from there, someone said, would you like to be an assistant cameraman on a movie? I said yes, and I was an assistant once, and they ran out of money. The cameraman left, who was Laszlo Kovacs.
Right.
He didn't come back, so when they started up again, they said, you want to shoot it? And I said, sure. And I've been working ever since. Phone's been ringing.
How did you meet this beautiful lady here? This lady is absolutely Julianne Kester.
Yes,
Tell
that's
me
right.
about yourself. You're very beautiful.
Well, thank you. You're so
You're from Colorado.
kind. Yes, I am.
All girls in Colorado are beautiful. And how did you meet Gary, first of all?
Well, I met Gary on my first feature film in Kansas City,
Uh-huh.
of all places.
Kansas City's a
I
great
mean,
city.
It's a great
I
city.
love it. Jazz and all that.
But you'd think we'd been around Hollywood for so many years that we would have, been able to meet each other on the Hollywood scene somehow, some way. But no, my first meeting with Gary was in Kansas City. He was the director of photography,
Uh-huh.
and I was the lead. It was my first lead in a film, and I was scared to death.
What was the film?
The Student Body.
Student Body.
Yes.
But I understand
Warren
that...
Stevens was also in it, by the way.
Uh-huh. I understand that you are really the first action lady in films. Look at this. Look at that. That
Well,
is
thank
this.
you.
You do karate.
Oh yes, I absolutely do. My first job, I was in a Roger Corman film. I was playing a 6th Dan black belt,
Uh-huh.
and believe me, I beat everyone up in that movie.
Uh-huh.
It was great. The name of it is Firecracker. I
Uh-huh.
think it's still available. And we shot in Asia, in Malaysia, and Hong Kong. And the intent of the film was that I would become the female Bruce Lee. Of course, that's impossible to do.
Right.
Why they used that marketing campaign, I'll never really understand. But that got me into a lot of trouble, too, at my own karate school. Everyone wanted to beat me up.
But something happened to Julian Kaiser's life. You were on a series, a very popular series, Robin Williams Show.
Oh,
Tell me about Moat and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy.
Mort, yeah.
This is a show, I took over a role from Morgan Fairchild as the weather girl.
That's right.
They're working in a station of all places, Boulder, Colorado.
Right.
And in this station, this TV station, they have, a weather cast. And I played the weather girl. That was a reoccurring role.
I love Robin Williams.
Oh, he's a genius.
And how about Happy Days? You were on Happy Days. You were the girlfriend on that one, or what?
Yes. One of many.
Ron Howard?
Yes. No. I was Henry Winkler's girlfriend.
Henry Winkler's.
The
but Ron
Fonz's
Howard,
girlfriend.
Right. Oh, you were the Fonz's girlfriend.
Yes. I was Ron Howard's friend.
How was he? How was he those days, Ron Howard? I love him.
Oh, Ron
very
Howard
talented.
has stayed consistent from the moment he started in the business.
As a little boy.
As a boy to today. He's the kindest, most generous person. And he just deserves every little bit of success.
Three Company. I'm putting three fingers up. Three Company. My favorite show's John Ritter. We just. When did you find you just got back? You two just got back from a great reunion or thing for Orson Welles. Tell me about that, first of all. But you just got back for that. How did you find out about John Ritter? What went through your head? Young. What happened?
I had just finished a series of martial arts movies in Asia. And they were doing very, very well here in the United States. And they saw me, whoever was responsible for casting the actresses at that time, and they said, let's do a segment and feature a karate scene with John Ritter. And everybody knows how fabulous John Ritter was at physical humor.
Yeah.
He was just the best.
I'm going to show
and
a
he
clip
was the
for
nicest.
This. Was he?
Oh, he was the most generous person. I can tell you many stories about that show.
let's show a clip from this doing the karate.
Okay.
Bob Hope was first the segment, right?
Oh yes,
Bob Hope.
Actually,
well, can we show the John Ritter first? He'll get
if
that.
it'll come on.
And then it'll come on. Let's do the karate, the second one.
Miss Jillian Kessler. Yes, sir.
Jillian, your dossier shows you're a year-round athlete, horseback riding in the summer, skiing in the winter.
That's right, Bob. I tried it the other way around, but it didn't quite work out.
German waiting for you. Mercy.
Hello. Are you David Miller?
The one and only.
I've been looking forward to this moment. That's for my kid's sister.
What did she order?
Don't you play dumb with me.
What are you talking about? Who's your sister?
You mean you don't even remember her name?
Wait. Her name!
And don't ever get near my sister again.
You can count on it. We're through.
I think
Isn't he wonderful?
He was one of a kind.
He
and
really
the nicest guy in Hollywood.
And you know what he did on that scene, in that particular scene? It wasn't really me tossing him, as it appears to be. he would leap
He would do
over.
it automatic,
He
yeah.
did everything for the stunt. In fact, he leapt so high in one case that he fell down on his neck, and he was lying there, and he was saying, "Jillian, Jillian, I can't get up, I can't get up." And so finally, you know, he made it up, but he really gave it everything.
Gary, you've worked with so many great actors, and, you know, direct, very, very fantastic actors in your life. What have Gary Garver have learned working with Orson Welles, first of all, working with this great genius? What have you learned?
What did I learn?
Uh-huh.
I actually taught Orson everything he knows.
Okay.
He learned from me.
He did, okay.
No. I learned a tremendous amount about lighting, working with actors. We used to light a set before we did the rehearsals.
Right.
And Orson was, sometimes I did a thing, we worked at kind of like John Cassavetes type of thing, you know. We didn't have a big overhead.
Right.
I brought to him, let me say this, before I met him, I knew that once I met him, we'd get along, and we really did. And I wanted the world to have more Orson Welles movies, more projects. So that was my mission. And that's the centerpiece of my career. When I was starting out, really, that's the most important thing. And we were able to pull off about 15 projects together. 4 features, and the last one is still not finished, and I am still working with Orson. We just came back from Rio doing the International Film Festival where we presented 30 programs. And I talk about Orson, keep the legend alive. And
you have his film archives, right? All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jillian.
Yes, we have approximately 100 titles.
Really?
All the films that Orson directed, and many of the films that he acted in. We have shorts. We have documentaries.
His talk
we
shows.
Have trailers. We have his talk shows. We have all the material we have our hands on. In fact, we even have some of his radio career in War of the Worlds when he first started out. So we're trying to
Joseph Cotton in that? Joseph Cotton, he was in that too, in the radio days.
Well, he was in the Mercury Theater.
That's it.
Mercury
and
Theater.
so we're trying to really eventually get everything that Orson was ever related to.
And you both travel all over the globe. You're very in demand. You know, how do you keep so busy? And matter of fact, you are doing a film right now. It's called, which one is The Drowning Lady?
Drowning Woman.
Drowning Woman. Okay, and Jillian's in it?
She's the drowning woman.
She's the well, she'll never drown, that's for sure. She's very beautiful. Jillian, I'm looking at this thing of Firecracker. Look at you there, my. Can we show a clip of this?
I love it.
Huh?
Sure.
I'd love to see it. Okay, let's see it. The Firecracker.
It's not Firecracker.
Wow, that wasn't Firecracker.
No,
Is that
not
what
at the end.
The
The fight scene was from Firecracker.
But the fight scene, that was no help from others. That was all you kicking back and forth. That's a lot of work. You were actually the very, very first in films lady by doing acting.
As much as I know, as far as I can remember and the research I've done.
Yeah. The archives. I want to get back to Orson Welles' archives.
Yeah, I wanted to say that because Orson worked so much internationally, and for a lot of independent productions, he directed movies in Hollywood. He'd go to to
Right.
Italy, France, Germany, whatever, and I decided, because I had my own film collection. I've been collecting since I was a child, 16 millimeter movies, whatever. Now we have 16 and 35.
Right.
That I wanted there to be one place where people could pick up the phone and say, "Do you have this?" And we have it.
Right.
There is another archives in Munich, and who are friends of ours, who we're aligned with.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, if somebody wants a title of a film Orson directed, we're a one-stop place, non-profit.
Uh-huh.
We just do it, without
Non-profit,
charge.
yes,
Yeah,
right.
no, we
Right. Right.
because the rights are all crazy and some are
Right,
public
right,
domain and like that. But we are, and we show them only at film festivals.
I see.
Non-profit thing.
Orson Welles had problems in Hollywood, a lot of problems, Gary. Did he ever talk to you about the problems he had here at the beginning or at the end of his career? Tell me, has he ever discussed? Because I know at the end, Eartha was telling me that he really had trouble here. Tell me about that.
Well,
About getting
I'd
money
like to-
from getting money and all that for his movies.
Well,
and
I'd
so-
like to demystify the situation.
Okay,
First of all, Orson came to work for RKO Pictures
right.
in the early 40s, right after the War of the Worlds, and a tremendous stage career. Radio and theater, and then he conquered the movies. He made Citizen Kane.
Right.
The picture was not popular, it had a lot of trouble, and RKO was in trouble financially before Orson came on board.
Right.
They were already shaky. So he came to a place that was changing management and everything, and then they sent him to Brazil to make a goodwill film so that fascism wouldn't come in. They also had Disney make a couple of animated features at the
Right.
same time. And Orson got caught in this political situation where his pictures didn't make any money, Citizen Kane and Ambersons,
Right.
and Journey into Fear. And when he came back from Brazil, they took everything away from him in Brazil. They would not let him finish the movie called It's All True. He tried and tried and tried.
Uh-huh.
So the fact that he abandoned that project is false. Then RKO let him go,
Right.
and he was freelance. And everyone was very jealous of him because he had this great contract.
Uh-huh.
And the pictures, in Hollywood, you got to make a lot of money
Yes,
for people.
yes, yes, yes.
Or else they kind of well, we don't know if we want to put money up for this guy. The other thing is, everybody in this town today
Right.
is looking for money.
Absolutely.
Absolutely looking for production money. Everybody's got a script. Every waiter, every waitress, everybody's got a script as an actor and actress. Orson was always looking for money too, and he was a producer. He didn't need a producer. He needed money.
Money.
But
That's what producers do, get money.
right.
Right.
But yeah, Orson had trouble. He'd find the money and then they'd skip out and stuff like that.
Right.
But that happens to almost everybody. Orson was just famous for it.
Right, right. The Other Side of the Wind, the Orson Welles film. Tell me about Gary Graver doing that. It was directed by Frank Marshall,
No,
matter of fact, wasn't
Orson.
it? Orson Welles, but Frank Marshall produced it.
He was our line producer at the
A line
time.
producer? Okay.
And he just come off with Peter Bogdanovich.
Peter Bogdanovich.
Right.
I met him. He's a great guy. Matter of fact, he was living at the home of Peter Bogdanovich at that time. Was that correct, Orson Welles?
Yeah,
Was he?
we used Peter's house as a set. He was in Italy
Uh-huh.
doing Daisy Miller, I think, yeah.
Right.
And we stayed there a long time and filmed in his whole house.
Edmund O'Brien, John Huston,
Right.
Susan Strasberg, Lily Palmer. Look at the names you had. Carmen Mitchell.
Cameron Mitchell.
Cameron Mitchell. You've had and Dennis Hopper. Come on, those names. What happened? And Mercedes Cambridge, one of the greatest actresses.
Right.
What happened to this film? Please, The Other Side of the Wind.
Well, we finished shooting everything. It's all completed. Orson edited about 45 minutes of it. Then there were some legal problems in the production, and Orson was always trying to raise money to finish it.
Right.
And I am still working on it now. There's nothing wrong with it. All the legal things have been cleared up. There are there's an Iranian producer who's a wonderful fellow who owns half of it, and Oya Kodar, who was Orson's companion, owns the other half.
Right.
And we're just trying to complete a deal to finish it.
I want to show a clip of this film of the Stagecoach, I think, of Orson Welles.
There's a clip. No, that's another thing.
Oh, what's this clip we're going
There's
to
a picture I did, I photographed with Willie Nelson called Stagecoach.
Oh,
And
Stagecoach.
Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings.
Let's see this.
And then there's a commercial of Orson that we did to make money, a Japanese whiskey commercial.
Oh, okay.
And Orson speaks very slowly in it because they wanted the Japanese public to learn English.
Oh, really? Okay, let's see this. Okay.
You know, say Geronimo has two virtues. He can kill without being killed and steal without getting caught.
You call those virtues?
Or you would if you were an Apache with a white man coming out from under every rock.
You know, you actually sound like you admire him.
I really do. I admire anybody that can fight for survival against odds that they know is going to overwhelm them in the end. Miss Mallory, you better sit down. You look weak. Where's that bed you were talking about?
We crossed the burning desert in the Arizona sun. Thundering desert dragon, watch us run, watch us run. Oh.
Travel. Great pleasure, isn't it? Whether we're going on a day's excursion or a trip around the world. Take a journey. The pleasure of travel is change. And take this fine whiskey for a travel companion. G&G.
I like that. You have a company called Grand Illusions.
Yes.
I like that title. That's a great title.
From the French film, Grand Illusion,
Grand
by
Illusion.
Renoir.
The French have great style. That's what trouble with Americans. They don't have style. I hate to say that, but they just don't have style. Gary, living in Hollywood, has it been tough for you has it been tough? Because you've worked with the best, you've traveled all over the world, both of you. Has it been tough? Because show business and films today are completely different. It's hard. Tell me.
It's amazing, the technology, because now I've done about 4 high-definition video features.
Right.
And we're currently making a film now called Drowning Woman, which I wrote and I'm directing and photographing.
She's in it.
And editing.
Starring
Jillian.
Jillian,
And we're not in a rush like I did with Orson.
Right.
Or when I worked with Cassavetes. These guys didn't have to rush.
What film was the Cassavetes you did?
I worked on some second unit on Woman Under the Influence and Opening Night and Killing of a Chinese Bookie.
Great guy. Tell me about him for a second. I love to know about this man. What a brilliant man he was.
Well, John was great. He'd have a scene shooting, and he'd go while Peter Falk and General Rollins were acting.
Right.
And the cameras were rolling. He'd walk way to the back and put his arm around the lowest grip on the crew and say, "What do you think of it?"
Isn't that great?
Because psychologically, he was such a wonderful fellow, and he got more out of people by being nice to them. A lot of people, directors and producers, they're fine to have dinner with, but once the camera rolls out on the floor, they go nuts. Tempers fly, they yell, they scream. I don't know what that transition is, but that happens a lot.
Very good friend of yours. You just directed, you filmed a wonderful movie. It's called The Usher. Curtis Harrington.
Curtis Harrington.
Wonderful director himself. He's done some great films with Shelley Winters and all these great stars. I love Curtis Harrington. Tell me about this film.
Curtis came to me a year or so ago, and he said, Gary, I want to make a film, because I've known Curtis for 30 years or something. He said, I want to make a film, and we don't have much money, and can we do it? I want to make a short film from Edgar Allan Poe's House of Usher and call it Usher. And he plays Roderick Usher. And he looks like Edgar Allan Poe.
He certainly does.
So I said, okay, we don't have much money. So I shot it with my camera. We shot it in Curtis's house. We got everything for free. The crew was volunteer. Basically, we had lab costs, and Panavision gave me a camera free. And we proceeded to do it, and I'm very, very happy with the results. Really happy. And it's up for nomination for Academy Award. Not nominated yet, but being considered.
Favorite film you've done?
That I've done.
You have done. You have a favorite film?
Well, Orson movies.
Okay, and how about you, Jillian? Do you have a favorite film, or tell me?
I like the film because it was directed by Gary Graver. And
Well, we have that.
I had the lead. And I played an undercover cop. That's my favorite because it's current, it's recent, and
Did we show
did
this?
great
Do we
work
have
in
it?
that.
Do we have that?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I like to see it. Can we show
Is it queued up?
Yes,
is it
it
queued
is.
up? It is
It's queued
queued
up.
up. It's the last one. Yes, let's see it. No? You don't have it?
Yes, it was the third one.
The third one it was, but that's okay if we don't have it.
That's all right.
But, Jillian, you know, it's been a pleasure talking to you both. I think it's great. You guys are you're still directing, you're still writing, you just got back, you were filming, go ahead.
We have the clip of Drowning Woman.
We do? I think they're rolling credits now. Isn't that
Oh,
lovely.
no.
Yeah, that's okay.
We're
Drowning
doing a new film. We're working on a new project.
New film. They'll hear it. There's Drowning Woman, and we're going to see you, okay?
Okay,
Yes.
Next time we'll show it, okay?
Okay, thank you so
But
much,
that's
Skip.
okay. The show's, a half hour is nothing on the show. It's very, very good. Thank you very much.
Wait a while, we can do part two.
Yes, we can. And Gary, you're keeping yourself busy. You're directing. You do a lot of documentaries.
There's so much more to talk about. It would take days.
Anyway,
I don't know if people would
folks,
be
my book
interested.
is out. Don't forget The Boy with the Betty Grable Legs if you want it. And Monday nights, I'm at Cafe Roma every Monday. It's a wonderful undiscovered talent, a lot of fun. You've been there. You love.
Oh, yes. You
And
did a
LA
magnificent job.
Times, and I just finished a movie called The A-List with Sally Kirkland. It was fun.
And our company is also doing a show called Meet the Real Jiminy Glick.
Meet the Real Jiminy Glick.
Your son, Gary, now, what about the first time they took him to the movies?
Well, actually, he was too young for the movies.
It was to see Dumbo, I think.
Oh, I don't remember what it was. But he loved it. Loved movies ever since. It's his whole life. He really is. Well, he works in it. He's gone to many schools, teachers to learn everything he can. He's devoted himself to it. Very proud of him.
No, when you took him to the movies, didn't he start petting or something?
Well, the first time, he was really too young for the movies. He wasn't interested. Yes, his father was holding him, and he reached over and petted the fur coat of the lady in front of us. He tried to make you stop, and he started to cry, so he was taken outside to calm down. That's about all I remember of that.
Didn't he say, "As you, boy"?
Well, yes. I used to say, "Whose little boy are you?" "As you's boy." He was so cute. Just adorable.
Now, you were born in La Center, right?
Was Senator Washington? Yes. Don't ask me how many years ago. Long time. Yeah, I lived there till I was through the first year of high school, and we went to Portland, Oregon. And
Tell us about the Hospital Center and what your dad did to make money.
well, we owned a large ranch, but we didn't make much money. He had, I think, 68 acres. He had cows, milked the cows, sold the milk, and he had to raise, we had 3 horses. He had to raise hay for horses and the cows, and we'd have to hire a thrasher year for thing to thrash the grain. We fed the grain to the chickens and other animals, sold whatever he could, but it was a hard way to make a living. They put up this place for sale when I was first year in high school. They sold the place when we moved to Portland, Oregon.
What about didn't they take the potatoes in the rain or something? Remember that story?
Oh, well, we never owned a truck or an automobile. Yes, they wanted to sell some potatoes, so they hired a truck from truck and a driver from the center to take a load of potatoes into Portland to sell. That meant several months grocery store. And the truck broke down. Couldn't get to Portland. All the potatoes froze. It didn't make a cent.
And you had 2 brothers.
Yes, I had an older brother and a younger brother. I was the only girl.
Don't they have names, the brothers?
Alan was older. Walter was younger.
Alan passed away, right?
Yes, several years ago, and Brother Walter still lives in Portland, or near Portland, Oregon. He and his wife had 5 children. Older brother had 1 son who's very successful. I believe he'd call him an engineer. He helps people invent things. If they have a bright idea, they come to him and he develops it.
Is that Alan's son or Walt's son?
Alan's son.
Keith.
Keith, yes. He had a daughter and a son.
And so what is the name you were born with? What's your full name?
Frances Marie Reichow.
And then later, and you went to Portland, and you went to Jefferson High.
Yes.
Wasn't there a murder there?
Yes, there was a girl, I passed her house every time I walked to school or came home, and she had a boyfriend. And I think it was an ex-boyfriend that killed the boyfriend right in the school, in the hall. And the principal of the school, there was a big thing in the paper, and the principal of the school went around and picked up all the papers so her picture and name wouldn't be in the paper. That's about all I remember of it. But I knew the girl. She wasn't a close friend, but I knew her.
And then after high school, did you, and you had you have a cousin, Marguerite, right?
Right.
And she married Norman.
Norman Seaforth, yes. They had 2 daughters.
Sandra and Susan.
Right.
Now, Norm committed suicide, right?
Yes, he'd been ill. I'd call up this place. He lived at Canyon Lake, not too far from here. And he'd answer the phone, and he wasn't very well. He said they called me Twiggy. That's what a girl, and I think it was English who were very thin. They called her Twiggy. And then one day, see, he was just acting perfectly normal. One day, he just went in the garage and shot himself.
Now, then, after high school, then you married Raleigh Graver.
Yes.
How did you meet him?
He and my older brother worked together at this stock exchange. They were friends. My brother got me lots of dates.
And then, so you married Raleigh.
Right.
And he didn't drink at all, did he?
Well, yeah, we all did a little bit. I'm not saying I got drunk, but Prohibition was over. And beer was a nickel a glass. I couldn't even drink a half a glass. I didn't like it. So I never drank much.
Did Raleigh like to drink?
Evidently, it got worse and worse. So finally, I told him he had to leave, that I couldn't have him around the children drinking so much. So he left. I got a job. I was sick with pneumonia. I got out of bed and went and got a job.